gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. And let's get into the video. This one's pretty sad. We have what appears to be a medical professional. White guy, family. Looks like he was a girl dad, had a daughter, wife. Looks like he was Russian. And he was killed in Memphis. So we're going to get into that story. This one is going to be pretty deep, and I will definitely chop this one up and repost it. It's not going to be good, man. It's going to be a sad, sad story. It's going to get some of you guys angry, man. It's going to make you want to ask, hey, how can I help? How can I affect this? And it's going to create backlash against the community. Facts. All right. So let's get into this story here.
Death of a St. Jude employee tonight. 2 people are in jail facing murder charges, and we now know what happened in those final moments. Hi there, good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Shay Arthur in for Greg Hurst.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Skurlock. Police say Alexander Bulakhov died while defending his wife and baby during an armed robbery. Our Shay Simon is live near the crime scene on Tennessee Street where this happened.
He was defending his wife and baby in an armed robbery, and these grimy super gremlins on demon time literally did not care, snuffed them out anyways. This is the community. This is what we have been supporting. This is what we have been enabling. It really is. There's nothing you can say or do to change my mind about this major issue in our cities, right?
The very latest. Shay, what can you tell us?
Yes, Stephanie, Shay, this is a story that has really shaken this community. I mean, since we've been out here this evening, people are out walking their dogs, exercising. Now, I did get a chance to speak with Chief CJ Davis today, and she says this is yet another senseless shooting. 23-year-old Marius Ward and 22-year-old Brandy Rucker are facing a long list of charges after a St. Jude employee was shot and killed while walking the riverfront with his family. At an event Tuesday, Chief CJ Davis says her reaction to this tragedy is similar to her reaction to shootings MPD responds to every day.
Very, very sad.
So here's the chief. Black woman. She don't got the answer, Sway.
That situation that our community members can't walk in their communities and feel safe.
MPD confirmed the victim is 32-year-old Alexander Bulakhov, a St. Jude employee, father, and husband. A LinkedIn profile for Alexander Bulakhov shows he was a postdoctoral researcher at St. Jude and only worked at the hospital since July. The profile shows he moved from Brooklyn, where he worked for the State University of New York.
Damn. And I mean, New York was getting pretty bad too, and he probably called himself escaping the migrant crisis only to come to Memphis that has an even bigger crisis than New York. As you guys saw, we reviewed the murder statistics as of November 12th. I believe New York only had, and correct me if I'm wrong, but 227, I want to say, murders, homicides, 227, whereas Memphis is at 352 now. So he probably thought he was escaping a bad situation for a good one, but in all actuality, he ended up escaping a bad situation for an even worse situation. And the thing about these smaller cities, they're easier for the leftists to get a hold on, and it's easier for the leftists to infiltrate city council because the elections aren't that contested, honestly. Okay, so the leftists can get their people in easily without being contested in these small cities. That's why you see all these red cities go blue like overnight, or in a very short time period, because they're infiltrating their people. They're pushing the LGBT agenda, the acceptance of everybody agenda, the migrant agenda, all that kind of stuff, the BLM agenda. And then they're pretty much doing a switcheroo and turning the whole city upside down.
Too many senseless shootings in our city.
According to this affidavit obtained by WREG, Bulakhov was walking with his wife and 2-year-old child when Marius Ward walked up wearing a ski mask, showed a gun, and demanded money.
Not a ski mask, a Pusheisty mask, Pusheisty mask, Pusheisty mask.
It says Bulakhov gave Ward his wallet and was shot while protecting his wife.
Gave the shit up. Gave it up. Probably didn't have any cash in his wallet. Probably just had, some cards and stuff that he was going to cancel the next day. He gave it up and he was still shot. Right? So this debunks they were just hungry for food. They just wanted some food. They were so hungry. No, they have a bloodlust. These super gremlins are on demon time.
MPD says Ward confessed to killing Bulakhov and that Rucker admitted to driving the getaway car. Jacob Mecklemore lives feet away and heard the gunshot.
But the guy came up and basically was like, give me everything you got. And the husband tried to defend his family and tried to fight the guy off. The guy ended up pulling the gun out, shooting him.
Butler Avenue and Tennessee Street is an area in downtown Memphis filled with riverfront properties and businesses. Memphians like Mecklemore and his 7-month-old baby boy walk up and down the area frequently.
I could have been walking out here and he could have caught a stray. So it's very disheartening. The whole reason that I moved to this area of downtown was because of how little crime there is, how safe it is.
Well, neither Ward nor Rucker had any previous charges in Shelby County besides maybe a traffic ticket. And I did reach out to juvenile court, and they also had no previous cases with juvenile court. But Stephanie Shea, as I said, this is a story that has really shaken this community and something that we will, of course, stay on top of. Live tonight in downtown Memphis, Shea Simon, WREG News, Channel 3.
So that story is just heartbreaking for that family. They have a very young daughter who is not going to be able to grow up with her father. Another family shattered, another family destroyed by these super gremlins on demon time. And like I said, this type of thing is happening every week right now. I don't want to be too hyperbolic, but it's happening a lot. Okay.
Tonight, we're learning more about the St. Jude doctor who was shot and killed in downtown Memphis. Memphis police say Dr. Alexander Bulakhov died protecting his wife and baby girl. Police are calling it an apparent robbery turned deadly.
This happened as the family of 3 was out for a walk in downtown Memphis this past Sunday evening. Tonight, we're taking a deeper dive into Dr. Bulakhov's accomplishments as a researcher.
Fox 13's Daniel Wilkerson is joining us live tonight from where that senseless murder happened. Daniel, you learned today that the Bulakhovs had just moved to Memphis 3 months ago.
That's right. Daryl and Darcy, good evening to you. Good evening to you at home. This is a sad story any way you look at it. We have learned that the husband and father moved here to do research at St. Jude. We've also learned that he was well on his way to becoming an accomplished scientist.
Damn.
We're now getting our first look at the Bulakhov family. The husband, Alexander.
So this super gremlin literally killed somebody who potentially could have changed the world. Damn, bro. And y'all think there's not going to be any reaction to this type of stuff?
Alexander, the wife Anastasia, and their young daughter Barbara. 32-year-old Alexander Bulakhov was shot and killed Sunday while the family was out for a walk in downtown Memphis. Police say Alexander handed 23-year-old Marius Ward his wallet during a robbery. The wallet containing his ID, documents, and his Discover credit card. Investigators say Ward then pointed the gun at the doctor's wife, asking for her property as well. That's when officers say Bulakhov stepped in defending his wife and daughter. Struggling over the gun, it went off, wounding Bulakhov. All of this happening while police say 22-year-old Brandy Rucker, the getaway driver, waited for Ward. Police would later take the two into custody. A GoFundMe page now set up for the wife and daughter sheds light on what brought the Bulakhovs to Memphis, saying they moved to the city in July. Alexander joined St. Jude Children's Research Hospital to begin a postdoctoral fellowship. Alexander worked as a postdoctoral researcher at Sunny Downstate Health Sciences University. Prior to that, he worked as a researcher for 5 years at the Research Center of Biotechnology in Moscow, Russia. His LinkedIn page shows he has a doctorate degree in biotechnology and biochemistry.
Damn. So he was a very accomplished individual. Snuffed out. The communitize is, man, communitize down bad, really down bad. And like I said, if we don't get a hold on it, it's going to be lights out.
He got that from the Research Center of Biotechnology. He got his master's degree in chemistry from Moscow State University in 2013. The GoFundMe page says the wife, Anastasia, worked as a research assistant in a lab at Columbia Medical Center in New York, but had not yet started work here in Memphis.
As we bring you back out live, just a loss any way you look at it. We got a statement from St. Jude saying that they are right now assisting the family at this difficult time. Of course, if you would like to help the wife and the daughter, we put a way that you can do that on fox13memphis.com. Darcy.
That is Fox 13's Daniel Wilkerson reporting live downtown tonight. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Definitely boils your blood. The guy even gave it up, man. Even gave it up. I mean, this guy, he was going to create a cure to something, right? But he wasn't given the chance to. You know, that's a big, big blow to this country. He came here and automatically was contributing. Okay? Educated, working guy, good job. Thought he was getting a better situation coming to Memphis. And just like that, two super gremlins who were just trying to muster up some funds to buy some milk for their little baby, right? It's a story that we're being told as to why these things happen. Took him out. Okay? They straight up pulled up and killed him. He gave it up too. And they didn't give a fuck. They didn't care. These super gremlins are on demon time. And I think the world has been put on notice. This is just something that we are not... We're not, honestly, into the story because, yo, I'm trying not to get shadow banned even more. But
what's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jenquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
let's keep going.
Alexander Bulakhov family comes to America in pursuit of a better life, but is now left planning a funeral. Also, these are the details we're learning tonight about Alexander Bulakhov, the man shot and killed in front of his family in downtown Memphis Sunday night. Tonight, WREG's Ashley Paul spoke exclusively with a family friend. She joins us now live in studio with what she learned. Ashley?
Steph, this story is just about as heartbreaking as it gets. Tonight, we're learning Alexander Bulakhov died trying to protect his wife and daughter during a robbery only a few months after the young family moved to Memphis in pursuit of a brighter future.
I was driving when Anastasia called me Monday morning, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Friend and former employer Dr. Sandra Riem recalls the moment she learned 32-year-old Alexander Bulakhov was gunned down while walking with his wife Anastasia and their 2-year-old daughter on Tennessee Street Sunday evening.
I thought I misunderstood her.
Literally killed in front of his 2-year-old daughter. You can't make this shit up. And this is another cross-racial homicide. I'm telling you guys, this shit is going to start adding up. There is going to be a backlash on the community. I hate to say it. I'm sorry to say it. But that's the reality. There will be a backlash. Okay? Because I genuinely don't see... people are not happy about this stuff, man. They really aren't. And then you can really get a glimpse as to what people are thinking that they're not saying out loud on Twitter. I'm not saying it's an accurate representation of everybody and what everybody believes. But you know, you get that candid viewpoint that you don't get anywhere else. And I just think that this type of stuff, it's just not being reported in mass at all. It really isn't. Like, this should be a national story. It's not. Okay. Guy flees Russia. They're in the middle of a war. He doesn't want to be a part of it. He comes to the United States. Murdered shortly after. If he wanted to die, he could have stayed in Russia for that shit, right? It's crazy.
And then when she finally explained what happened, I mean, I just burst into tears, and I just was sobbing on the side of the road.
According to court documents released today, 23-year-old Marius Ward came up to the family, pointed a gun, and demanded they hand over their belongings, which Bulakhov did. He then turned to Anastasia.
Anastasia said that the guy was pointing the gun at her stomach, and so Alexander was trying to protect. Damn,
that's the same shit George Floyd did, remember? And niggas was defending George Floyd. Bruh. This nigga literally pointed the gun at the white woman's stomach. These super gremlins are on demon time.
Protect her, and said, don't point the gun at my wife, you know, and she really wanted to make sure people knew that he died trying to protect her and Barbara.
Dr. Riem describes the family as wonderful, sweet, and kind. She worked with Anastasia for years at her cancer lab at Columbia University in New York. She says the Bulakhovs just moved to Memphis over the summer.
They were so excited to be there, and they
that
had
was
this
the
great apartment. And
that was the worst place to go. That was the worst place. Man, look, every white person should subscribe to my channel at this point. Every black person too, but obviously the black people, they go, oh, you're a coon, fuck you, you hate your mom. If you want to protect yourself, subscribe to my channel. If you don't, then hey, it is what it is. See you on the other side, bro.
And Alex loved his new lab, and Anastasia had been looking for jobs and finally found one, was supposed to start in December at St. Jude's as well, and I was so excited for them.
But tonight, that plan is far from what they had hoped, as Anastasia works instead to plan a funeral. thousands of miles away from her family in Russia.
Alex's dream was for them to stay and have careers here and raise their daughter here. And if they have to go back to Russia, I think that his death really would have been in vain.
Now, Ward, along with...
Yeah, I don't know how she gonna survive as a single mom, white woman in Memphis. I just don't understand how.
22-year-old Brandy Rucker are facing a number of charges in connection with Bulakhov's death. Meanwhile, Dr. Riem has set up a GoFundMe to help the family get back on their feet. You can find a link on our website, WREG.com. I'm Ashley Paul, WREG News Channel 3.
And guys, when I repost this story, I will try to find the GoFundMe with it. Man. Guys, I mean, are y'all seeing this shit? This is supposed to be a national story. It gets no traction. After this, we'll read some of the comment section. We'll read the comment section from pages, certain pages, right? That are on Twitter that have a big following of, pretty much like-minded people. So let's keep going.
A St. Jude research doctor gunned down in downtown Memphis over the weekend. Tonight, we are learning more information about the doctor who reportedly sacrificed his life to protect his family. Meanwhile, 2 people are now behind bars charged with his murder. Fox 13's Dominique Dillon is joining us in the studio tonight. Dominique, you had a chance to talk with Police Chief CJ Davis today. What does she have to say about all of this?
Well, Darcy, I was there and she faced several questions about downtown safety from the Memphis Rotary Club hours after the arrests were announced. Brandy Rucker and Marius Ward face a slew of charges, including first-degree murder and especially aggravated robbery. Memphis police say the victim, 32-year-old Alexander Bulakhov, and his family were walking down Tennessee Street Sunday just before 8 p.m. when they were robbed at gunpoint. The affidavit states Bulakhov cooperated, but Ward was not satisfied and turned his gun on the victim's wife. That's when police say Bulakhov began fighting with Ward over the gun but was shot. He later died at the hospital. Memphis Police Chief CJ Davis addressed this shooting and other violent crimes downtown at the Memphis Rotary meeting in East Memphis.
We are still aggressively hiring. We feel that if we have officers and a soft presence of officers in our business districts walking the beats instead of just running from one call to the next, we can get our arms wrapped around crime just as a natural deterrent.
Bruh, she can't get the job done. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. She can't get the job done. Point blank. She can't, she won't, she's not gonna. Period.
During the meeting, Davis not only discussed crime downtown, but across the city. She also talked about what the department is doing to curtail it. Hear more from her in about an hour. Darcy?
That is Fox 13's Dominique Dillon reporting in studio tonight. Thank you, Dominique.
Woo. They ain't got no answers for you either. They don't have no answers for you. Why did this happen? Why were they targeted? It's a random robbery. No. They can't tell you how they're going to stop it. Can't tell you how they're going to protect you. This is literally what the community asked for. Unfortunately, it's leaking out and affecting unsuspecting, migrants, as you guys can see. People who come in this country the legal way and work and have a work visa, working towards citizenship. They were coming for the American dream, and they didn't do it like those motherfuckers who crossing the border and looking for a handout. They did it the right way, man. And it's just so sad that our country was not able to protect these people.
A St. Jude Children's Research Hospital employee gunned down while walking in a downtown park. And what makes this story even sadder, he was shot while defending his wife and child. Thank you for joining us. I'm Joy Redmond.
And I'm Joe Birch. But there's been an arrest, and in fact, 2 of them, 22-year-old Brandy Rucker and 23-year-old Marius Ward, are now charged in this death. Action News 5's Stephanie Douglas joins us now to explain how this outrageous tragedy unfolded on Sunday night. Stephanie?
Well, according to Memphis police, Alexander Bulakhov did what he was supposed to do. He gave the suspected robber his wallet, but this then turned deadly when the armed robber turned the gun on Bulakhov's wife. Police say Bulakhov got into a fight over the gun and it went off.
I'm always in stark defense of Memphis. I love my city. This is a great city. We have great people, great culture.
Jacob McLemore says every morning and sometimes in the evening, he routinely walks in Butler Park, a place he feels safe with his son.
Bruh, he's bugging. I mean, I don't know how you can be that oblivious. But this is very dangerous to be walking around in Memphis with your child. Not saying he's a bad father. I'm just saying this is not a good move to make if you want to keep your family safe. I'm trying to help, honestly, because literally you will die if you continue to live in this way where you think that nothing's going to happen and it's just like happy-go-lucky and you can just go out and get some fresh air and not have your pistol on you and ready to go at any moment. These white liberals, they don't get it, bro. They don't get it, man. And I mean, even white conservatives don't get it, but these leftists, they really don't get it. And it's going to cost them everything. And I really hope that this guy learns from this situation, because they're going to be a lot quicker to kill you than, I mean, statistically, it feels like they'll be quicker to kill a black person, right? Like they're going to say, oh, well, there's more black on black than. Okay, yeah, we get that. Fine. But in the chance or in the event that you interact with a hostile, violent super gremlin, they are way more likely to kill you guys, white guys, respectfully, than black dudes, because they know, in a sense, it's going to be a more of a fight with us. No disrespect at all. But that's just the thought process of the super gremlin, of the Thug Max Alpha Simp. I'm trying to, give you guys their idea of what's going to happen, because I mean, this is the reality, bro. You're not going to talk your way out of getting your ass killed. And they also, respectfully, I mean, these guys are bad dudes. I don't even want to say what I'm thinking, but they are bad dudes. Bad news. I mean, they will, you walking with you and your baby, they'll take it to the distance. That's what I'll say. They'll go all the way with it, and they won't think twice, and they'll smoke a blunt dedicated to you, and they'll say they're smoking on their ops. I'm telling you right now, they wouldn't care if your baby got shot as well. This is how the community is moving nowadays. Shout out to Caesar D with the $3 PayPal. He says, it's unbelievable how much the mindset of today's youth has changed since I was a youth back in the 70s and early 80s. Yeah, it's changed a whole lot. And outside has gotten a lot more dangerous.
Hold on. Hello? Where we at? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We outside!
But that sense of security was stripped away Sunday night when a St. Jude employee was killed while walking out with his family. Memphis police says 32-year-old Alexander Bulakhov was shot after two people tried to rob him.
Car pulled up, there's a driver. They were headed this way on Tennessee. Passenger got out, came up here. Whole thing happened really quick, like 90 seconds tops. And then he ran back to the car.
Memphis police says the suspect stole Bulakhov's wallet, then turned the gun towards his wife. That's when Bulakhov tried to protect his wife by trying to get the gun away from the suspect. Police say the suspects took off in a white Toyota Camry. Bulakhov was rushed to Regional 1 Hospital where he died from his injuries.
Damn.
It doesn't look great, you know? So you got an immigrant that comes here to enjoy the freedoms we have in America and work for a great company like St. Jude. And
not just an immigrant, a white immigrant. It's not one of these illegal aliens. He was a legal white immigrant from a European country. Comes here. Niggas look at him like just another white boy. Rob him and kill him. It's routine in the community. And I'm not saying this can't happen to you as a black person. Obviously, we just did a story on 2 young black teens who were killed in somewhat similar fashion. But this one hits deeper. It's a family man. It's a father. A career man. An educated man. A man with goals. A man who is changing things. This one goes deeper. It's cross-racial. It just hits and punches a lot of buttons that, you know, are really waking people up. Now, obviously, it's not waking people up en masse, but the people who stumble across this type of content, okay, maybe there is an issue. If I could just get you to the point where, okay, maybe some things do need to change, that I did my job.
he gets taken from his family, and that's just, man.
St. Jude released the following statement saying in part, quote, "Our thoughts are with Alexander's family, and we are working to support them during this difficult time," end quote. Macklemore says, from one father to another, he emphasizes with a man trying to protect his family.
You know, with him, I'm less concerned with myself, but with this guy, you know, I don't think I'm gonna be coming down here after dark anymore.
Well, smart move. I would say don't come out here, period, unless you're strapped. But at least he's learning a little bit. It took him that much. It took him somebody who looked just like him to get killed to say, hey, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe it's too many niggas out here to be walking with my baby. Okay.
Well, 22-year-old Brandy Rucker and 23-year-old Montarius Word have been arrested and charged in his death. They are both due in court tomorrow morning. Reporting live in studio, I'm Stephanie Douglas, Action News 5.
Yo, what's good, BGZM News 17 family? I'm at the corner of Jesse Jackson and Marcus Garvey, and I got some bad news for you. As you can see, I lost my job. I'm out here living in cardboard boxes outside of boarded up vacant homes. YouTube said I'm done getting money out here in these streets. They even took my funky ass suit. So anything right now would help. So go ahead and hit that Cash App, hit that PayPal, hit that GoFundMe, hell, cop the merch. Or if you want to make the long-term commitment to the Jinquavius Jackson Fund, join the Patreon so that I can continue to put out top-notch content each and every day. Also, check out the Rumble, where there is absolutely no censorship. Link in the description box below.
Hey, yo, ain't that nigga Jinquavius? Yo, I recognize.
No, that's not me no more.
Hey, yo, run your pocket.
Y'all tell me what this is.
Do the opposite of Antonio Brown and take
What
all your
more
shit
do
off.
you want from me?
Now they've both been charged with his death. She didn't say they've both been charged with murder. They say they've both been charged with his death. Anyways, they've both been charged, but are they going to get the time that they deserve, which is pretty much life or the death penalty? Are they going to get the time they deserve? Probably not. So I am going to be reading what white people think of this brutal murder. And this is coming from the page In Wokeness, has a very large white following. People pretty much write articles on this Twitter page all the time and basically say it's a white supremacist, Twitter account and all that kind of stuff. Radical right wing, whatever. But they're making some good points. Say his name, Alexander Bulakhov. He was gunned down in front of his wife and daughter. He worked at St. Jude's Children's Hospital. This happened on Sunday in Memphis. You didn't hear about this story because it doesn't fit the narrative. Now let's see. It got 67K likes, 22K retweets, 2.6 million views, 1.3K replies. That's a lot of activity. That's a lot of attention. It's a lot of eyeballs. Y'all still think that the community is not going to face any ramifications for this? You need to wake up. All right, this guy says they can't report stories like this. If they were to constantly report stories about the victims and the perpetrators behind the crimes, it would tell a different narrative than the one they want. Did you know Memphis is #1 most dangerous city in the USA? The violent crime rate is 652% higher than the national average, and residents have a 1 in 40 chance of falling victim to a violent crime. All right. She's saying there's still no arrest, but that's not true. There goes the GoFundMe, though. They have a $20,000 goal. Let's see. Or actually, that's the Rancho story there, the one we covered earlier. Who else is tired of this insanity? It seems like it's ramping up. It would be an insult to animals to call these criminals animals. Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. As you can see, the meme, I suppose they couldn't fit it in the narrative, so it had to go away. The death penalty needs to be applied more vigorously in this country. The mainstream media knows exactly what they're doing. They are nothing but outright propaganda. Seems to be a new example of this every week now. Yeah, that's true. Doesn't fit the narrative, but it confirms the stereotypes, okay? It says the new mayor was elected after promising to be tough on crime, and this was his response. So let's see what his response was to this brutal murder of this beautiful family.
Those negative incidents do not define who we are. We are talking about 1% of our population that is terrorizing our whole city.
He says the violence in Memphis isn't just killing our community, but also our reputation.
We have to change that narrative. We need people to understand who we are as Memphians, are people that love our city, that have a culture, a character, a vibe that's unmistakable. And those are the things that should be defining who we are, not the negative incidents that we've seen take place.
A vibe. Man. So he's saying it's just 1%. It's a lot more than that, buddy. Mr. and Mrs. didn't do nothing, obviously. Let's see. He said a Caucasian Ahmaud Arbery incident every day, but no protests or looting as mainstream media silent as usual. Georgia State business student Derek Alexander. Yep. So I actually did a story on this one. Derek Alexander killed as he sat in a car on MLK Drive in Atlanta. His killer, Quataven Williams, is walking free right now after posting bond. Yeah. And here's the thing about Derek Alexander. I knew Derek Alexander personally. Like, I knew him. Like, me and him chilled. Like, I was in his apartment at MAO at Lennox. Here's the thing about Derek. I fuck with Derek. He was really cool to me. I knew some guys who had bad experience with him. But here's the reality. He was in over his head. He was selling dope. He was selling drugs. Let's keep it a buck, respectfully. And I do want to tackle this conversation with all due respect for his sister, because I've been in communication with his sister and whatnot. But he was in over his head. He was selling drugs. And look, you're going to sell drugs as a white guy. Rule number one, and I know people are going to hate to hear me say this, but it's pretty obvious. I genuinely don't understand how this isn't obvious. If you're a white guy selling drugs, you don't sell to black guys. Period. Period. Okay. Now, he's mischaracterizing this. This isn't a Caucasian Ahmaud Arbery incident. Derek was selling drugs. He was selling a lot of weed, yes, but he was selling coke too. And he was selling coke in the clubs. And I mean, he had the hoes, he had all the connections, he knew all the promoters. I mean, he lined up he had a really good clientele in Atlanta, I will say. Like, he had very rich people copying from him. You know what I'm saying? But here's the issue. He was selling to niggas, and I literally told him this verbatim. I said, bro, you can't be having all these niggas come in and out of your apartment, because like he had niggas coming in and out of his apartment. That was one warning I told him. I said, another thing, bro. Respectfully, you a white dude selling drugs to black guys in Atlanta. Atlanta niggas are some of the most grimy niggas in the world. Period. I'll say Atlanta niggas more grimy than the Nigerian scammers. Because they not only will they scam you, they'll shoot you, they'll break into your car, they'll jack your car, they'll act like they're some innocent water boy, and then rob you, take your phone, send themselves thousands of dollars on Cash App. I mean, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. So Derek, he was in over his head. I might come back to this tweet and interact with it and just let him know, hey, look, man, what happened to Alexander Bulakhov was fucked up, but these two scenarios are not the same. Like I said, I knew Derek. He was selling dope, and he was selling dope to niggas. And I told him, bro, if you wanna live in Atlanta and survive, if you want to live right, come with me if you want to live. No, but for real, if you want to, you could. Hey, I don't think you should be selling drugs, but if you want to sell drugs in Atlanta, you do not under any circumstances sell to niggas. As a white boy, now if you're a black guy, you can get away with it. You can also get killed too, but it's less likely that niggas will try and rob you unless you just showing off your shit, right? But if you are in Atlanta and you're a white guy and you thinking you're just gonna sell drugs to black guys and it's all gonna be cool, I'm telling you that's not gonna happen. Like I said in the previous post that I made about Derek Alexander, black people do not respect white people in the drug game. It's just a fact. So anyways, diversity is our strength, but where is the supporting data? Are diverse cities safer than non-diverse cities? Do diverse companies make more profits further in their a diversity scale? Okay, so he's trying to dismantle the diversity narrative. It's happening all over the country. This is sad and falls at the feet of the soft DA. Memphis has gone completely off the rails. If only we could be honest about our society's problems. These are the consequences of soft on crime policies and cashless bail. 10 out of 10, they had a massive criminal record prior to the travesty. Facts. They're white and don't matter to the narrative. He said, wonder who controls the narrative. Yeah, this AI animation of jits, and jits is a word to describe like a young hood nigga, pretty much. This seems to be happening with more frequency lately. It's interesting how silence fills air when this occurs. Where's the outrage from politicians, news organizations? I was thinking these cities like Memphis, Chicago, Baltimore, the people keep electing the same people over and over. The thugs keep thugging and the people do nothing but accept it. You want to change, stop electing the career politicians because they don't care. All right, so I mean, we got a pretty good idea on the pulse of, you know, what white people think about this situation. Yeah, man. This shit is horrible, though. Beautiful family destroyed by two ninjas, two super gremlins on demon time.
Gang violence and other kind of violence. Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.